people start with their hands when I start with my feet. Does that happen to you?
Yes.
I don't know what that is, so I want to know. Like, why is that? Like, if I give them two choices and one is hands and one is a stomp, they're interchanging it. I don't know, there's some wiring moves in there. Some practical examples. So the course that is accompanying today's workshop is just you making a unit plan. And you're gonna get 2 due dates in November this month and 2 due dates in January. And it's just like step 1 is gonna be come up with some building bricks. That's the whole assignment. So we're gonna do lots of practice of that today, so it shouldn't scare you. It's not gonna be time intensive. It's just that you're gonna probably think about what your creative inspiration is gonna be. I think that's probably gonna take you longer than anything else, but you might have a book on your shelf, so you'd be like, I bought this, so I'm gonna do something with it. This is your chance. So just go back to your classroom and like, dust some of that stuff off that you bought with a good intention, and then see if it can kind of fit into the process that I'm gonna show you today. We're gonna start with the Lunar New Year story. And before I get into that, I just have to explain the concept of building bricks that we're going to be using. And this is right out of the first part of Elementaria. And, you know, I'll give you access to the slides so you can just pull them right off and use them in your classroom. So you can have duple meter, triple meter. There's some variation on these though. Okay, so in terms of triple meter, would it be completely acceptable to substitute the rest for the longer duration? Is there any reason why you wouldn't want to do that? I don't think so. I mean, if you're working with students who have not yet been exposed to a dotted half note and are working on quarter notes and quarter rests, maybe you want to start dabbling into the half note. Like, don't give them too much at once, right? Like, save the dot for later. Like, they'll get to it, and you can always like replace it at the end of the same activity. Hey guys, this is the same thing. We're just gonna look at it like this now. And also with the duple here, right? Keetman gives you these 5, but if you talk to Orff teachers today, they're like, but this is important too. And it has value because there are some sounds that you're gonna come across that are long and some that are short. Like, you know, when you clap your name, anybody have a 1-sound name? There you go, right? I mean, you're not gonna elongate it unless you're in trouble, right? You know, Kim, come on. Okay, like if you're not in trouble, then it's just Kim, okay? It's like, that's it. So you can substitute a quarter note in a rest, or you can add it, okay? It's completely up to you. There are times where it might be appropriate to have one over the other, and there are times when let's have everything, because why not? These are some slides that Rob Hammond presented with so I did my level 1 right out of my undergrad, got hired for my first job, which is still my current job, and at any rate, Rob went right back for his level 2. I went on to do my master's instead because you were supposed to do that within 5 years. I was like, okay, I can't do that. So I was in my level 1 with Rob and Heidi, and that's how I met them because they were both from this area, and it was like, oh, cool. You know, and we got the speech at the end of levels like, hey, you got to go back to your local chapter, and you got to get involved with your local chapter because, like, now that you've taken levels, like, you get it, and you should be like helping to guide that leadership. We got that speech. So Rob went on to level 2 right away, and he came back talking more about building bricks, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta get into that. You know, like that makes a lot of sense. So these are some examples of how he was using them in his classroom and how he showed, like, he's got the, you know, and a lot of you might have the boards where you can grab, and so he's got it like infinitely cloned, right? So you just grab and pull, like the kids can do that. They can come to the board and they can go bop, 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 and then you can go ahead and clap whatever they're making up. So it's cool. It works really well. So I decided to get on the building bricks train, because they're in the levels classes. They talk about that some teachers will pick model words for their building bricks and they will keep them for the year, keep them forever. I'm too flighty for that. Like, I can't make up my mind. I'm just like, because the one year we were like, let's do like fruit, okay? So like we made a bulletin board, like, wouldn't it be cool if like we did the same thing? Then if a kid changes to my school or your school, like we know that. And I was like, I just can't stick to the one thing. So I need it to be activity based. But if you have model words that stay on your wall, the kids are gonna make those connections. They're gonna be like, oh, that's spider monkey, or whatever you might have on your wall. Because Rob did I know it's not a superhero, but like, Rob did the Marvel superheroes. So like the first time he was talking about it, you know, they had Ant-Man, Spider-Man, and Wonder Woman, or whatever it was. So I just thought that was cool that he had that kind of like as a staple. But can you still change them for your activities? Absolutely. But it is kind of a fun concept. I just can't pick something and stick to it. Okay, so yeah, I know that's cute. Yes, she's so curly, hair so fuzzy. So I had maternity leave. Her birthday's tomorrow. She's gonna be 3. God help me. So I was out on maternity leave until after February break came out. So it's basically March. Now normally in January I have like a reteach of all my rules. Okay, you show up, it's a new year, new day. Hi, I'm your music teacher. We're gonna talk about what we're gonna do differently from now on. And I say to them, like, this is the year you 4th graders become 5th graders, leaders of my school. Okay, 2025 is the year you 5th graders go to middle school. This is your last year in my building. This spring concert will be your last concert. Like, I give it right to them, like, listen, I counted on the calendar, there's only 25 more music classes for the school year. I lay it all out, and I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's not a lot, man. You're only here once a week, we had a couple breaks, and that's it. That's all we have. So when I spell it out for them like that, you know, I'm hoping to spark some kind of awakening that now they'll take me seriously, because the whole fall is so much repetition for me. It's so much review of the previous year's skills. That's just the time we're living in, I think. I don't think we're doing anything wrong. I just think that's where we're at. I blame the swiping, but it is what it is. So one of the things that I started incorporating into my, hey, Happy New Year, New Year, New You, let's get it moving, is the Lunar New Year, because I just thought it was really fun to make the connection to the new animal when they were talking about that the calendar changes, and you know, it happens not January 1st, but sometime between January and February. So I had fun kind of explaining to them which animal they were based on their birthday and what the characteristics of the animal were. So that's something I had already done. Thumbs up if you've seen this video. Cool. I like showing you something.
In a year, 12 animals were arguing. There was a rat, an ox, a tiger, a sheep, a rabbit, a dragon, a snake, a dog, a horse, a rooster, a monkey, and a pig. They thought the new year should have a name. They were arguing because each animal wanted the year to be named after himself. There was such a noise that they disturbed the Jade Emperor. "Oh, whatever is the matter with you animals?" Jade Emperor asked. One by one, they explained their problem. The Jade Emperor thought it over. "I've got an idea," he said. "Can you see that big river? Why not have a race across it? We can name this new year after the winner of the race." All the animals agreed that this was a good idea, but each one secretly thought that they would be the winner. They all hurried to the river and lined up for the race. Ready, steady, Go! With a mighty splash, the animals leapt into the river and started swimming as fast as they could towards the other side. Now, the rat wasn't the best swimmer, but he was the cleverest animal. He saw that the ox was going to win the race, so swam as fast as he could and grabbed hold of the ox's tail. He climbed up the tail and onto the ox's back. Just before the ox reached the other side of the river, the rat leapt over his head onto the bank. "Hooray! I'm the winner!" he squeaked.
Hard luck, ox,
Laughed the Jade Emperor.
You're very strong, but rat was too clever for you this time. We will call this year the year of the rat. Ox, you were second, so next year will be the year of the ox.
One by one, the other animals finished the race.
Oh, well done, said the Jade Emperor. We will name a year after each of you, in the same order that you finished the race.
Find out when we add new clips and build a playlist especially for your child.
There's a lot of things that we like to discuss after watching that. Was it fair? And and when I review my classroom rules, the reason why I have any of them is so that students are safe and that everything is fair. Those are my taglines that I say. So we like to discuss, was it fair that the rat won? And the fact that he's valued for being clever over anything else is another talking point that I enjoy. So he didn't break the rules really because there weren't any. It was just get over the river, whoever gets there first. So he didn't do anything wrong necessarily, but there's maybe was it cheating, was it not, right? So we talked about that. I selected the 12 animals and divided them up so that I'd have at least one for each grade. So I did not involve the students in this process. You can choose something, anything that you want when it's your turn to design something, and you can do it two ways. You can serve up, these are the model words, here you go, let's play around with them. Or you can start with just a straight up discussion, let's find some words that fit in these sounds, or start with a theme. Ask my buddy ChatGPT to tell you all the words that fit a certain theme. Have it name you every kind of apple. Have it name you every type of constellation. Okay, it'll just in seconds give you an entire list. Still have the students generate it, but then you should have something prepared, because they're gonna stare at you until they kind of get the hang of it, like you did this morning with me with the thing, right? You were like, okay, they're gonna make that same face, and you're like, so, okay, they're gonna need to see like some examples first, right? And you're gonna clap the words, and you're gonna talk about where do they fit. Now, I had a problem because every single animal name was either a 2-sounder or a 1-sounder, and I had 3 and 4 to fill, so what do I do? Well, I just added some adjectives. We said kind. I went back to that list of what the characteristics of the animals were. Kind rabbit, clever rat, flying dragon. And the 1-sounders, why did I do horse, snake, and pig versus ox, dog, and goat? That long vowel, I was like, let's hang on to that. And that long O gave us the half note. Questions about that? Okay, I would like you to sit at a board. I don't care how you do it, or you can stand, you can use a chair, you can use a music stand. How about a music stand? Would you prefer that over floor sitting? I mean, I know we do that as part of the gig, but you're not on the clock today there, so if we put a stand under, I'd like you to do the following, okay? I'll make one for an example. This is how I have the kids do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and my line's gonna be 3. So you can just lay it flat here. And I want you to pick with your team, however you like, 4 bricks and plug them in. We have some discussions. Now I can either not say anything and let you go with it, or I can give you some suggestions. I do often give the suggestion that ending in eighth notes is not my preference. I'm not gonna thank you so much. I'm not gonna tell them it's wrong. I'm gonna tell them it's not my preference. And if I end with, so if I do tiger, kind, rabbit, clever, rat, flying dragon. Do you feel like you need more? Flying dragon, what?
Yeah.
You do. I mean, it's just natural. If I end with flying dragon, clever, rat, tiger, kind, rabbit. I don't know. It's okay. That's not wrong. There's nothing bad about it. But it's more complete, like a punctuation at the end of a sentence, when we end in a long sound. So I can end in a long sound followed by a rest. I can end in a half note. And that's how we clap them, by the way. I hope I just do one of these. You can end with tiger. You can end with clever, rat. And I left them the options. Now typically, because there's 12 animals, like I just kept, you know, all the choices up there, even added river race for fun. I don't, just caught my attention, I guess, or the kids and I voted on it, I don't remember, but that's the only one that's not an animal, so there's 13 up there. But, yeah, where was I going with that thought?
Guiding them.
Yeah,
Their choices.
right. There was something else, but I lost it. Okay, so go ahead with your team, pick 4, and then let me know when you're set. I think of what I was going to say after that. How many minutes you want, or you want to just let me know when you're done? 4? 3? Whatever they suggest, I always say less. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So I let the students pick an animal as their like mascot, and that was part of their team name, okay? So you don't have to be like a certain team for this purpose right now, but I want you to know that was part of the deal. Is every class had 4 animal teams. I had 3 sections of 4th grade, 3 sections of 5th grade, so each class had 4 teams, and each class had 4 animals, right? So the pig team, their stipulation was they just had to include the word pig in their.
Did you assign that the animals?
I did. I think what I did is I put the 4 animals on the board and I let them come up and write their name and the team they wanted to choose. Obviously, if there was something that I was concerned about, I would make a change. But you'd be surprised that their selections weren't too bad. And if there was a team that was like, oh boy, that team, they sat next to me. And the other teams were in the other corners. And you know, again, choice within limits, right? You guys want to work together? Okay, well, I'm going to work with you too. And we're going to have a great time. So that's something you can add, you cannot. It doesn't really change the assignment necessarily, but it gave them something to hold on to, like the GOAT team thought they were really cool by like making it the acronym. Okay, they were like, yeah, I'm the GOAT, okay, because it's like greatest of all time. That's a, I know, maybe I didn't know that. They had to teach me. Okay, go ahead and get to work. You don't have to pick a mascot. If you got a dead marker, I got a couple extras here now. Pull them right off my whiteboard as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
I appreciate you people that are writing your notes like this, because that's how I do it, by the way. I don't have time to write noteheads, but when I do, I just make backwards L's, okay? I don't color in, and I encourage the students to not color in, because it just takes all day. And also you have the kids who will just not color in, and that's completely wrong. So you want to avoid that, so I teach them to make backwards L's. And that is how we just conquer the fact that we shouldn't be coloring anything in. I tell them I do it to save time, but I also do it for them to not make errors. Continue. I'm not saying work, and then I do rabbit. Right there.
Yeah, that's good. So I say you sort of fly dragon.
If you're set, you can clap it and see how it sounds.
I think just the rhythm.
Do you want it?
Tiger. Ox.
Which are we?
Okay, can you clap it? Okay, see how it sounds? Everybody clap at once? Okay, you ready for the next level? What I like about doing this is like we just pick up wherever we left off the next day. Okay, save yourself some planning and just plan projects where you can just say, oh, yep, wherever you were last time, do it. And they have to know. It's their job. Okay, so choose 4 bricks. You did that. Now, could you, I had an 8th note. If you did, I don't, we would just talk about it. If you were really adamant about it, am I going to kill your joy? No, I'm not. I'm just going to be like, why don't you end on beat 1 then, right? I just might, you know, we just might talk about how to make an ending that will sound finished because we are going to repeat it. Can you repeat it 4 times in a row without stopping? I'm going to let you skip that step, but the students need it. Okay, the students need the repetition. Now I need you to change the body percussion. So you're going to have 1 beat that you snap, clap, pat, or stomp. Say they do something that's not one of those choices. I'm not going to suggest it. But when the team goes flying dragon, you let them. Because it just, like, you can't say no. They were, especially when you're doing animals, right? If they're embodying the animal, you let them do that. Okay, I do. You do you, but if they have a case for something that's not one of my directions, we just, you know, you're kind of a judge and jury, okay? You're just like, I guess I'll allow it, right? You decide. So go ahead and add your body percussion. I feel like it's worse.
Can we do snaps for
Pretend you're bored.
Do they all have to be the same
Does that make sense? It's not a real whiteboard. It's like a cut piece of, yeah. Okay, what did you say? I remember somebody saying shower board. Okay, I don't know what that means. I have no idea, but it's cut. It's not, they're not meant to be whiteboards. It's cut from like bigger thing. Okay, so can you repeat? Yeah, can you repeat that body percussion 4 times in a row, but can you change that dynamic level? Can you start with the words and take them away, or can you want to start without them and bring them in? You can choose. Okay, go ahead. It's definitely easier to take words away. I like that. I just go cool. I did. And the kids then, oh, I got you. Yeah, either just take words of it's easier to take it.
Okay, so
You ready for another one? Okay. So I will at the end of class, by the way, give them pencil and paper to write it down because the next class is going to use the whiteboards too. So, and I have like 4th and 5th grade back to back. So, okay, sorry. See next slide for ideas. We don't get too overwhelmed. Are you good?
Yep.
Okay. So now we need to make it more interesting. Now this is a little crazy looking, but do I want to tell them step 1 is do this? Step 2, I did number them, kind of ignore that. Okay, I'm just kind of making these my talking points. But what's happens is if you tell them they have to decide on a group shape, sometimes that's limiting. Because they'll get so bogged down by it, they'll be like, but we decided we're going to do this. And so now because they made that decision and they feel bound to it, it's impacting that they're able to add certain other things. So sometimes I have to walk around and be like, you got to let that part go maybe because what you're suggesting and what you've already suggested, they don't align, right? So which thing could we change? And how could we compromise? Another thing you'll notice when you walk around is that sometimes they want to do like, 8th notes in their feet, or sometimes they want to snap, and if they can't snap, I tell them do a 2-finger tap, okay? Because it makes the same sound and it gives them that satisfaction because they really hate to be told to fake it. Some kids are fine with that. They're just like, yeah, I'll just pretend. But other kids feel personally offended that they can't, it really bothers them. So I like the 2-finger tap for those kids that feel like they're missing out on making the sound because it's very similar. Do you need me to explain anything here? Vertical levels, all I just mean is like high to low, okay? Because sometimes they want to kneel. Sometimes they want to have a back row and like the front row kneels and the back row stands. Sometimes they want to have 3 levels and then, a level that sits. In that case, just going to tap the floor for stomping, okay? So we don't worry about it. Like what direction are you facing? I'm not going to tell you have to start with a certain thing. Just see how many of these you can add and how interesting you can make it. Ready, go. But don't take on too much. You don't have to hit every single one of these ideas. Just add as many as you like. Okay. And we can talk about how you want to present it. Okay, so I don't know my next slide. Okay, so what form would you use here? Now I gave you 5 teams, which maybe is not helpful because it's an odd number and you can't do like 3 and 3.
If they have the animals, you could go in the order of the.
Oh, yeah, right, the race order, I like that. Now when my students performed this, because remember I came back in March, right, so I'm like, I have to put something together in a short time. What am I gonna do? So we didn't have really much mallet training or anything, but I feel guilty, right, when I've been out and I'm like, we didn't do anything yet. So we set up the instruments pentatonic, okay? And so that's the burgers and the fries. Okay, we did C pentatonic. And I just let them use the rain stick, the ocean drum, and we just made some water music like that. And I just sat in the front with the xylophone backwards so that they could watch me go to high to low. And I didn't care what they played, but I wanted them to kind of do like a kind of effect of the wave, right? I don't like these mallets. And so if you would want to do like halvesies play, halvesies present, we could kind of amp it up.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So do you want to, how do you want to rock, paper, scissors it? Like, what are we going to do? How are you going to decide which teams are, like, if you feel like your team's ready and you want to stay, and if you feel like your team needs to process, you can come over here. Do you want to just figure it out? Because we have 5, so it's not even like I can say what to do. Discuss your needs and wants, and let me know.
Not this. Not this.
Or like, is there a way that we could rotate? As you perform and then go make the music, and perform and then go make the music. Okay, so I'm just making this up. So who should be, who wants to be last? Because then I'll let you make the music first. I'm gonna let you.
Are there 2 groups? Look at all those groups.
We'll take turns. So, I've got rain stick that you gotta turn really slow. I've got the ocean drum that you also must do really slow. Okay. And so I'll play with you. Yeah, it's fine.
We don't even have
Go another side.
We don't have a
Well, should we do 2 groups out here?
You just already know your shape.
Yeah, bring the other group. We'll do it. I don't have any rules today. We're making this up.
Alright, so I guess we're gonna perform
Here, you can go first.
I think it's like you get to that part.
So, I think then what we'll do is I'll have like the next team like phase out. So maybe what each team stays 2 times then? Does that make sense? And I don't know. We're gonna make it. Okay, so you don't have animal themes necessarily, but is there any other way that you want to decide who goes first? We're just ready to go. Okay, well, you guys are going to go first. Okay, who's going to go second? Okay, you're going to second. You guys are going to go third. And then, so after your turn, I want you to pick an instrument. And then I want you to stay and maybe pick a second instrument when you switch. And then come back and sit. How's that? So you're going to take 1 turn to do your thingy-madoodle. You're going to take 2 turns, pick 2 different instruments, and then rotate back to your seat.
Got it.
Okay. We're making this up as we go. Ready? Do you want me to record it?
No.
Okay. Okay, I just didn't know if you want, like, hey, I was at this PD and we didn't know. Okay, you're good. Okay, so team.
Pictures will be okay.
Yeah, oh, pictures. Okay, should we start with a little water music, and then team one, you're gonna go first. Do you want, like, any particular noise, or we're just gonna do maybe 4 little la 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 la, trickle down, 4 times, 4 trickles, and then you just start whenever you're ready. Okay, okay, that's trickle 1, trickle 2, maybe trickle 3, trickle 4.
Kind rabbit, flying dragon, tiger, horse. Kind rabbit, flying dragon, tiger, horse. Kind
Okay, you guys can come pick an instrument.
Flying dragon, kind rabbit, clever rat, tiger. Flying dragon, kind rabbit, clever rat, tiger. Flying dragon, kind rabbit.
Ready, go.
Ox, monkey, flying dragon, clever rat. Ox, monkey, flying dragon, clever rat. Ox, monkey, flying dragon, clever rat. Flying dragon, clever rat. Horse, tiger.
That was all the teams, right? Okay, we'll do 2 more little trickles. So, did that require me to teach them any mallet technique? No, and I was strapped for time, so I didn't have it. But it made them feel like they were doing something, and also I missed the opportunity. Sorry. Yeah, we have to talk. We have to share about like what something you liked about another. I'm so sorry that I missed the opportunity for you to hear space. Okay, right. So that's what. So there's a couple things that you can do here. Somebody come be my partner. Now you have one of these. You could have 3. I need 2 partners here, and I need 2 partners here. Come on, don't be shy. So, some things that you can do. It's like when you're folding sheets with your mom for the first time, and she's like, down around the corner. Okay. Did everyone else have that core memory, or just me? Okay. So, all right. So you can take the corners and you can alternate your hands. Okay. Let's think of what else we can just go up and down like a parachute to make waves. Now it would be cool if we did that in succession. So you go first, and then we'll do the wave, and then you do the wave. Now we can also do over and under. So I'm gonna go up, and you're gonna switch places with me. Ready? Set. You're gonna come in together. Okay. Yeah. Ready? Under. Okay. Now you guys pick it up and switch spots. Yeah. Okay. And then you can do that again. Up. And then we switch. And then yeah, you can do it like that. So however you want. But that makes beautiful. You can have shapers. You missed it. We gotta do it again.
I wasn't sure.
No, you're okay.
I'm slightly scared. I'm just gonna wash you. I'm sorry.
This is the water. You're jumping in. Okay, so any questions about how that could just add something, and especially for the kids that can't do much else, they're so happy to do this. And then if you did have animal assignments, they could swim. The animal could swim through the water, okay? If you were really that dramatic about it. You can make it as dramatic as you want.
Where do you usually get those?
That's a West Music purchase. Yeah, I'm not sure anybody else that sells them, but you could also just go to the fabric store and see what they have and see what moves, okay? Because that's stretchy is the only thing, and sometimes that mesh fabric is stiff because it's like for the ball girls. But where's my? I need a, like a remote on it. I need a remote on my remote to find it. Questions about that? Comments about other teams? Comments about your own team and how proud you are of yourselves?
So proud.
So proud.
They had this team. What is your alternate notation? Is that?
That was the body percussion.
That's your body percussion. And
Yeah, she just drew a hand for clap. Yep.
And this team, you.
Oh my God.
Like this is higher dynamic levels of.
Well, that's what we did, but we
Yeah.
didn't write it.
That's what you intended.
Very impressive.
Yeah, and
I know. We were just very.
I'd show them that symbol when we're talking about it. Like, are you going to get louder or are you going to get softer? Because it makes perfect sense to describe. Sometimes the kids are going to need to be like number 1, loud. Number 2, medium. Like, they might need it spelled out. So this is the pig team's paper. Okay, you can see it was well loved and like had to be taped back together. The blue writing on the side, I think, is mine, right here, because I'm like they're dictating it to me. Like first we're gonna step this way, and so I'm right. Okay, arrow left, arrow right. So I'm making notation. So don't be afraid to step in and just show me what you're doing and I'll write it down. Okay, they need that level of support from you. But that's the pig team, and this is what they look like. This is 5th grade. So you missed this opportunity too, we didn't get there, but now they're putting it on instrument. I give them free reign, they can take anything. As long as they have a good case for it. I have kids that want to use my auto harp. I'm like, okay, show me how you're going to use it. I have kids that want to strum a guitar, ukulele. Okay, show me how you're going to use it. Do they know how to play it? No. But can they still do 2 strums on their 2 beats? Yeah. Do I care? No, I don't care. There was another kid in that group who was absent, so the one girl had 2 parts. So just keep in mind that you want it to be achievable, that anybody could pick up the part when somebody's not there. So what they decided was stagger spots. When you have like a team of 5, sometimes they like to do that, like kind of go in and out the windows, if you will, like from behind each other and then peek out. They faced the front. Did they turn? No. I don't think so. They did left, right, forward, back. I don't know that they used dynamics, but it didn't disturb the presentation at all. And they were standing the whole time. And that's that. Any thoughts about Lunar New Year possibilities. Yeah.
Can I ask a question about management with the instrument?
Yeah.
How, do you have any tips and tricks for helping students not bang on your xylophones?
Well,
Do you give everybody a something or
I give everybody a fair shake. They have, so before they get anything in their hands, basically they have to come to me with a proposal. And sometimes they're just hand drawings because they have no idea what the instrument is called nor how to spell it. So it's pretty funny when they're just like, I want the thing that looks like this, and they'll describe it to me and it's hysterical. But they have to show me that they can do the body percussion. They have to pass all the levels before they get to the instrument level, right? So if they can perform it on their body, I know they can perform it on an instrument. If it's an issue of a student who doesn't use appropriate technique, then that instrument's not for that child if it's a behavioral thing that like continues to happen. If it's like they just generally don't know how to use it and I'm gonna model for them, and everything we're handing out, I'm gonna model like you do it like this. And then I'm gonna give it to them and hope, you know, Godspeed, hope you do it the right way. And if you don't, well, there's consequences. You know, like, okay, that's probably not the best instrument for you. Let's find you something that's more appropriate. You know, take some rhythm sticks and don't use them as nunchucks. Like,
So
you know, I would modify and I would have consequences because I want to set an example that like, this is my stuff that costs thousands of dollars and you have to be respectful with it because it's for everyone.
Just a little bit
Keep going.
more. So it's not in your mind at this point something where they're like, well, they haven't really played this very much, so it's not a matter of having practice along with it and learning to chill out on it.
I think for this purpose, I'm asking for like everything at like the most basic level. I'm not asking really for a show of musicianship. Like I'm just like tap, scrape, or shake something. Like that's how I'm teaching my little people that my instruments make a sound. You tap it, you scrape it, you shake it. So I'm really asking for very basic skills that I would expect my kindergartners to be able to follow those directions. So yeah, I wouldn't assume that it's the child doesn't know better if I showed them how to do it and they still don't do it. That would be like a behavior choice to me more than a, I don't know, does that answer your question?
It does.
Yeah. I found a couple, I don't know where this one came from. I think we were getting, did your school like just mass dump books all the time? I know they're purchased with grant money and like, so nobody's sad to see them go, but like you should see what I brought home for my kids. Like it's, I have a problem. I took like one of everything because I was like, oh my God. So like we're gonna have to have a home library, but I found this in the throwaway pile at the library and I ordered this one, bringing in the new year. And so just kind of nice to be able to show the kids like what some of the traditions look like, because you'll see later we're gonna talk about Carnival, which is celebrated, bless you, in Argentina, and you can't just Google that. Because the costumes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use your imagination, they're not appropriate. So, like, it's really helpful that, now that's not an issue with this, but I'm just saying, don't necessarily just type things into Google, like, when the kids are there, because you don't know what you're gonna get sometimes, okay? So, children's books are great resources for learning about other cultures.
How did you put this in for a concert? Did you start with a story, or did you start
I
before it got to
started with
students?
the story. The kids were all in their stations, so I had like the 4 groups from this class. The 4 groups, I had them in the corner of the room, okay, because I have my 4th graders on my risers here and the 5th graders are on the bleachers, the gym bleachers over there. So I had like 6 groups here, I had 6 groups here, and we went down the row, and maybe after 6 we did the water music, and then it was something like that. I mean, it was the first time I had ever tried anything like that. The way you did it was very sophisticated and very nice. The way my kids did it was perfect, but you know, there's so much more that you could develop it, and I did what I could in the time that I had. But yeah, I had them all set up, and it was a production. I don't know if you see me in the video, like walking around like this, because some groups had shared instruments. So like I had to know, you know, I only have 1 thunder tube, okay, but it's a hot item. So I had to know that, like I had to tell them, well, you have to get that instrument from that kid when that kid's done with it. It was like the backstage, like switching of costumes or props or whatever, you know, in theater. So there's that element, you know, if you don't have enough to go around and you don't want to have to deal with those kind of logistical things, then just be like, well, you were the first one to ask for it, so it's yours. And that's it. Yeah.
But how many class periods did you spend on this?
And you see them once a week.
I see them every 4 days, which I would practically say is about once a week.
Yep.
Because the amount of times you get a Monday, Friday is, you know,
For how long?
45 minutes. Now before, so say I did this from March, you know, I introduce it like that first week of March. We have April break, we come back. I don't think I did this concert because this was spring 22. And this is the first time where we were doing a concert.
Right.
Post-COVID. So we actually invited the parents in one grade level at a time. I actually did the show twice. So we did the show for 4th grade parents, we did the show for 5th grade parents. And that actually worked out for this because I had the 4th graders present when it was their parents attending, and I had the 5th graders present when it was their parents attending. So everybody got to do it once. And then after we put everything away, the other thing I had was I stole all the cardboard boxes from the cafeteria. And every team had a box with their paper in it and their instruments in it, because there was just no way that we were cleaning up every day and putting things back at the end. So that was helpful. It was just looked like chaos with all the boxes lined up against the gym wall, but it made it so it was grab and go, and then they could put everything back in their box when it was done. That was a helpful thing. If you want to do something like this in real life, you're just gonna email me and say, Stephanie, let me call you so I can talk. You know, we can talk about it. I'll try to do it.
So how many class sessions?
So that was the question, right? Okay, so let's say like 3 weeks of April. Let's say like 4 weeks of May, and let's say we did it probably like the first week of June.
8 weeks.
Yeah, and it's not, like, it's probably not like the only thing we did during class in every single one of those classes, you know, I do warm-ups, and we were probably working on some of the we did 3 chorus songs in addition to that, which again, it helped me fill some of the time too, because I didn't really have time to teach more than 3 chorus songs, and that's been a time. Yeah, it's achievable in that amount of time for sure. You know, it gives them enough time to really perfect it and feel confident in it when they only practice once a week, because every time they show up, they kind of have to relearn it for like a month or so. And kids are absent in between, so there's kids that are catching up and kids that are a little behind, and kids are like, what's my part? You know, and the kids that are never there. So the kids that are never there, like the kid that was absent, you know, he's got a part that somebody else can easily pick up. So we, you know, add all those considerations. I have 2 more things. One is like just talk you through it, and then the other one is really get into it and tell a whole story. So I'm kind of thinking we do the one more thing, and then we do lunch, and then we come back and do a big story and get into it. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Okay. You have it in you for one more thing?
Yes.
Okay. So chicken soup with rice, heard of it?
Yes.
Because you know the song?
No.
Yeah.
Because you've seen the video?
Yeah.
Because you know the book?
Is that the Maurice?
Yeah, Maurice Sendak, so Where the Wild Things Are guy?
Yeah.
Author? Guy is a little informal, okay. This is his book, and you were gonna show me, yes, that you've heard of it. But musically, you have, some of you have not, okay. So, how did I find this now? I think YouTube, okay? Sorry, thank you. I don't know how did I get into this, Jen?
It was YouTube.
YouTube showed it to me? Yeah. And I was like, I didn't know there was a song to this, so I immediately had to order the book. I immediately sing it to my kids. Because he does a poem for every month of the year. He also has a book where they do counting. It's called One Was Johnny. It goes, one was Johnny who lived by himself. Shoe was a rat that jumped on the shelf. Really cute. But then there's something about jail, and that's a sensitive subject for some students, so I don't keep that one. But I sing with my kids at home. So, really cute. We can just take a segment of this because there's 12 months in the year. We could do the whole thing if you're into it, but if you want to pick, we can do January. It's split up into 3 sections and into 4 months each. So we can do the January to April. We can do everyone's favorite May to August time of year, or we can do the life we're currently living, September to December. What mood are you in? Are you in a summer mood? Are you in a winter mood?
Well, if we're doing Lunar New Year in January, let's do now.
You want?
Now or later?
Oh, I see. So we'll skip ahead.
I say now so I can go to school and do it.
Okay, let's now.
Choosing
You should
So
take
September?
the
You want to do the? We'll do the whole thing if you want to. I just was going to give you an opportunity to like.
September through December, like the.
No, that's what I thought. Is okay? Yeah. Okay, Jana. That's gonna, I don't want to do it. I think I just want to step and a clap. Step. In September for a while, I will ride a crocodile down the Dykeman, Snoopy, Nile, freeze for me to go paddle, paddle, twice, paddle, chicken, soup with rice. Paddle once, paddle twice, paddle chicken soup with rice. Paddle chicken soup with rice. Okay? Should we start at paddle once? Yes. Paddle once, paddle twice, paddle chicken soup with rice. Okay, do it again. Paddle once, paddle twice, paddle chicken soup with rice. So it's the paddle chicken soup, and then we'll do rice. Okay? How about I took? Okay. Same thing, little side steps. In October, I'll be host to Witches, Goblins, and the Ghost. I'll serve them chicken soup on toast. Whoopie once, whoopie twice, whoopie soup with rice. You're on fire. I'll just stand here because
Why can't we fix that?
I don't know. We're doing all right considering. Okay, ready? Oh, in November, gusty air, I will flap my flippy tail and spout hot soup. I'll be a whale. Spouting once, spouting twice, spouting soup with rice. Now the third one of the sequence is a different melody. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Ready? In December.
Was that it?
That was the one we just did.
Yeah. November's gusty gale. You flopped your flippy tail.
So sorry.
Okay, ready?
Moving forward.
Here we go. In December, I will be a bottle bagel Christmas tree with soup bowls dripped all over me. Merry once, merry twice, merry soup with rice. Okay, you're hired. You're great. And we can do I told you once, I told you twice. All seasons of the year are nice for eating chicken soup with eating chicken soup with eating chicken soup with rice. Okay, and that's how the song ends. So you can have a seat. Now I didn't show it to them like this. Each class got 1 month. Remember how I had 12 animals? Because I had 12 groups. Because I have 3 sections. Okay, I'm sorry if this math doesn't work for you. Just the 12 thing worked out for you. I have 3 sections. I did 4 groups each, in each class, and I gave them each a month. So the one class was September, October, November, December. The other class was another 4 months. The other class was another 4 months. And that's how the song is broken up into the verses where it's A, A, B, A in terms of the song. So they learned the song, sang it for chorus. We walked up to the stage doing the body percussion. So I loaded the first class, January, as the second class is walking on, they had something to do and not to talk to their neighbor. So I liked that. I liked the load the stage with something to do thing. I haven't found any other things. I mean, I've done other body percussion. activities that work like that. But that sequence of like, by the time everybody got on stage, it was like probably September, right? And then we moved on. So the kids helped me with the words here, but we took them directly from the text. Like, but I went ahead of time and did it myself. And then, so I knew the answers in case they didn't have it. Okay, but it was pretty easy for them to like help me make a list. We could say December, we could say bobbled bangled, we could say Christmas tree, we could say soup bowls. So we just took like the whole list of everything in the poem, and then we came up with that. So are you in a November state of mind today or a December? You want it to be Christmas?
November.
Okay, so whale tail,
Whale
tail, Betsy Gale, Betsy Gale, flop, flop. November, shouting Betsy. I have to tell you, the October, November, September wasn't great.
Right.
Like, it's not the best way to say that, but I was working in a niche here that we went with it. They don't pick that rhythm often anyway, which I find interesting, but I get why, because it's not my favorite either. So it was fun. So they picked 4 out of that list, and what I did is I made these like movable, right? So that we could drag it down, so they could pick one, and I think I let them change this order.
Oh, good lord, sorry.
Okay, the snap, clap, pat, and stomp. I don't think I made them stick to that, but obviously, you know, if you want to set that as a staple, you could. Questions about how we did that?
So this is what we just did 5 minutes ago with the water music, almost, right?
Yeah,
They come in 2 groups and they
yeah.
choose what to do.
Now, we didn't do instruments with us
Right.
because we were singing the song for chorus. I have the arrangement on the piano, that's what I was thumping out before, because I haven't played it since, like, we literally did at the concert, but I had the sheet music, I was like, I should have practiced this, and I could have played it. But it's a great tune, but yeah, we did the same process. Now here I wrote Team Animal, I should change that, because I just copied the slide over, but I meant it
Team
for,
Yeah, team.
yeah, Team Month, right, I meant it for the other one. But we just followed the same process, yeah.
How young?
My 4th and 5th graders are working through this process. I'm doing some creative stuff with my 3rd graders and some movement with my 2nd graders. You're gonna see that this afternoon. But my 4th and 5th graders are living life with building bricks and moving them around and clapping them and putting them everywhere on their body, because I want them to be able to put that on instruments. So if I want them to be competent with performing on the instruments, they first need to be confident with just putting it on themselves, right? If they can say it, they can play it, if they can put it on their body, then I know they're ready to roll. Do you have questions about that? Do you want to live more in the chicken soup space?
I'm
at
just
all?
curious how so you said they sang the song, so that was a separate thing, then did this
So
as a separate, or?
We did this
Yep.
just like I showed you, as they were walking up, and then, so we did the, basically like rapped, okay,
Yeah.
the book, and then sang it, and that was what we showcased at the concert.
So it wasn't like song, rap, it was like,
But you could have, so because of the way the verses go, if we had the time, what we could have done is, and I could have made the time, I just didn't prioritize that because the song was a little bit of a reach for them. It's a 2-part, and I do 2-part music, but there was a lot of turn taking and harmonies, and if you want to look at the music, you see what I mean. It was a little hard. If it was a little bit easier of a song, I think we could have probably managed it to do like January through, like the first 4, January through April. I keep going the wrong way. Okay, so we could have sang the song, and then we could have paused, done the months, or done the months and then sang it, done the months body percussion, and then sang that next part, and vice versa. You see what I mean? We could have, or not every group makes it to the stage sometimes. They all get the experience, they all work on it in class. Some of them are not wanting to perform, I wouldn't push it. Wouldn't push it. So the last time I did a body percussion thing, I did Jim Solomon's greeting. I could do it for you, but I have to remember how it goes, which I can't right now. But anyway, it's a body percussion routine, and I let them improvise so that we could kind of make it like a rondo. There's an A section, there's a B section, and then we made like a C as the improv and a D as the improv, right? So we could kind of mix around with that. Where was I going with that? Oh, I only had 2 groups. I had one 4th grade group that wanted to be featured and one 5th grade group that wanted to be featured. And that was fine. And everybody got the experience in class. Everybody got some participation, like assessment for me out of it, right? Can they hang? Can they keep up with their group? Are they a leader in the group, or are they struggling? Okay, that's how I got grade 4, 3, 2, 1. So like, got it, does as good as I expect them to, doesn't got it, or won't do it, is basically how I'm assessing them, right? So it's not that every group has to make it to the stage. If you want to include it in a performance, you can just do the groups that want to. And even if, you know, all I would have to say is our featured soloists tonight are Team April and Team June, you know, whatever it was, and that this is a project we worked on in the classroom, and we have 2 teams that are excited to share those with you today. Like, no, I don't think anybody sneezes at something like that. Yes?
Just a quick question. So, as they were coming onto the risers, were all the students reciting all 12 poems at the same time?
Yeah, because they knew all the words because we learned the chorus song.
Okay.
They knew it from chorus. And I mean, did they need my help? Yes. But yeah, we had done it ad nauseum. So, and I think doing this honestly helped them learn the chorus song because we were working on it in class with the rhythm of the words, and then we were learning to sing it in chorus. Yeah.
Do you ever do a book study, only generate your own song with it, and also do building brick stuff?
I did. And we talked about it, you and I.
Was it the green chilies?
No, I brought that book with me though, because someday I'm gonna do something with it. That's on my someday list.
Okay.
No, I took a book called Fortunately by Remy Charlotte, and it's about a boy named Ned, and sometimes good things happen, and sometimes bad things happen to Ned. Okay, so we made up a song. We said sometimes good things happen, sometimes. Sometimes Ned is happy. Sometimes Ned is happy. Sometimes Ned is sad. Sometimes good things happen. Other times are bad. And that was the song. Okay, so we made that song up, and then so Ned, help me remember, Jacob. Remember how it goes? Ned gets invited to a party. So then I'm at the keyboard and I make the sound like this. Okay, when something bad happens, and then when something bad happens, I'm doing that. So the story is Ned gets invited to a party, but unfortunately the party is in Florida and Ned is in New York. Okay. And then so Ned, his friend loans him an airplane, don't you know? Okay, but the motor exploded. But there was a parachute. But there was a hole in the parachute. Okay, okay. So it was cute. So we sang a song. Sometimes Ned is happy. Each class, because I have the 3 sections, each class acted out 3 things that Ned did. Do you want this to be my next workshop? I'll do it. Okay, so we took out the parachute, and they had a little routine. Walking in a circle, shaky, shaky, shake, because they moved as I played the little song. Up and down, and then did up and down, let go, and that was the parachute dance of the parachute having a hole in it. The stretchy band was the airplane. We had a kid on this side, a kid on this side, a kid in front. They were all holding it, pulling it so that it made the shape of the airplane. And they were like this, and up and down, you know, then when the motor exploded, they just let go of the stretchy band and ran away. So it was really cute. We just acted the whole thing out. Jacob recorded the whole thing because he came to observe that day. So I have video of it. I can pull it up for lunch if you want to.
Yeah.
Fortunately, fine.
Remy, R-E-M-I, char lip, like it sounds.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so that was when you say write a song, da, 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 that's like a volume 1, nana foo foo, okay? I didn't take it out of the volumes, I was just like, this is something that would be in there, and it probably is because it was in my head. So I probably heard it before, and I wouldn't take credit that it's my original melody, but it worked for the story.
Cause I was just thinking if the Maurice or the Carol King was too hard.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you.
Yeah, the Carol
Sorry.
thing was like a choral reach. It was a
Thank you.
choral reach. Other questions? And then do you want to agree on like a 1 o'clock, but like ready to go at 1 o'clock?